station in Bayfield and automated the lighthouse at that point. When we're evacuating and see the
I burned out like a wandering ember. I shone bright, then my journey was over. What I sought when I ran was back where I began. No matter.
Good morning, everybody. Today we're continuing our trip here, our American road trip for the summer. And we are on some of the most northerly area of Wisconsin in Bayfield. And if you know anything about Wisconsin or Bayfield, Wisconsin, you'll know we're here for the Apostle Islands cruise. So we're going to be here on the Apostle Islands lakeshore today. And the best way to see the lakeshore area is on the cruise. So what is it today? July what? 15th?
Yeah.
It's a Monday?
Yeah.
It's a Monday, July 15th, 2024. It's great weather, a little overcast. Supposed to be like a high of 76 degrees. Future Kyle will put the Celsius right here. And then if you don't know anything about the Apostle Islands, basically it's a set of islands just off the coast here in the Great Lake. And we've got lots of like caves and tall seawall type areas and just really cool stuff. Try not to look at too many pictures of it so I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but it looks pretty awesome. So we're here, we got a 10 o'clock cruise and we gotta check in and get in line because there's only so many seats and it's first come first serve on the seats. It looks like I see people down there already lined up.
Reservation.
Yes.
But what seat you want?
Yeah, I'm saying there's only so many seats, so we don't want to get the worst seats. So we gotta check in and go where we want to get in line so we can get a decent enough seat. So here we go. Here, Apostle Islands Cruises. Let's go ahead and get in and check in.
No matter the rain, no matter the storm, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Leave open the gate. Don't turn off the light. I'm coming home. Ooh. I gained all that I knew for a price. In the end, what I found.
I'm very interested, but there is at least one more bully standing up near the top of another tree and a few other yards ahead of us. We're just getting to a spot where recently a couple big chunks of the shoreline collapsed. This happened over the winter, about 2.5 years ago. The first thing you can see of that, well, there's a dead tree leaning against the island. It kind of looks like it was growing at the bottom of the lake. Actually, that was growing at the cliff top until the cliff collapsed off from underneath it. And just a little bit farther, 50 feet or so farther up the shore, an even bigger section that collapsed at about the same time. Pretty rare for us to have these big collapse areas in the shore along. This one is known locally as Lookout Point. There used to be a continuous arch that ran from the very top of the rock back toward the island. That arch collapsed. It was back in the summer of 1973. That's what's left of broken boulders between the standing part and the rest of the island.
So some of the quick details on this trip is it's $55 a piece, and it was $1 for children 5 and under. 6 and under. And it's a 3-hour tour. So hopefully not the Skipper and Gilligan type of 3-hour tour, but a 3-hour tour nonetheless. And it's a big boat. It's like 65 feet long by like 30 feet wide or something like that. or small, should be comfortable on something like this. So I think we're gonna skip over to the next island.
In the end, what I found was nowhere near as nice. No matter the rain, no matter the storm, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Leave open the gate, don't turn off the light, I'm coming home. Though I fought with my claws and teeth, though I
So I think we're at some of the best stuff we're gonna see for the whole ride. So I'm gonna give you a lot of this because it's really good. We passed by it one way and then they turn around and they pass by so the other side can see, so you don't have to go back and forth. Everybody's gonna get to see what they want to see, but he did say he was gonna talk a little bit more about some of the stuff, the lighthouse and stuff on the island here.
Or about 20 feet or so. It's still possible for us to get in pretty close here without any trouble. Well, the lighthouse here at Devil's Island, this was the last of the 6 light stations here in the islands to have gone into operation. This one first operated in 1891. This was the last one to be automated. For the most part, lighthouses here were automatic by about World War II, give or take. This one, though, in addition to being a lighthouse, is also a Coast Guard station. So the Coast Guard would here turn the light on when it got dark and then shut it off again in the morning. Finally, that was 1978. They moved the Coast Guardsmen into the station in Bayfield and automated the lighthouse at that point. When we're back to where you can see the top of the light tower, if you look closer, you can just see several weather vanes. One of them is historic. There was one weather vane poked right up through the top center of the light tower, connected to an indicator just inside the lighthouse. And that would have told the lightkeepers exactly what direction the wind was coming from. There are a couple more weather vanes that are part of a modern automated weather station. There are weather stations out here scattered along the lake shore about every 20 miles or so. There are also a number of buoys in the open water with similar equipment on them. These weather stations, obviously enough, are collecting weather data. Air temperature, wind speed, direction, barometric pressure. The buoys also measure water temperature and wave height. All that information gets sent out. There's a radio signal. They broadcast every hour, picked up by the National Weather Service, and they can tell what the weather is like pretty much everywhere in the lake, and they don't actually need anyone here.
So I elbowed my way to a seat. There be no kind of peace like you beside me. No matter the rain, no matter the storm, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Leave open the gate, don't turn off the light, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Nothing's as it seems in the photo. Nothing is as sweet going solo. Nowhere I can ramble or roam could change my mind, could slow my coming home.
So that was quite a ride. Grand total about 2.5 hours. I think they said we go about 45 miles total on the loop. So definitely worth the ride. Most of the important stuff you want to see is all out on Devil's Island, which is the furthest point out. And that's like 15-20 minutes the whole ride. Be aware, they said in the summer, the horse flies get really bad out there. So when we got there, all of a sudden our ankles start getting bit by horse flies. And they said it was a few weeks ago, they said it was so bad like the back of the boat looked black or something. it was really bad. There was just, you know, maybe a dozen inside the lower part where we were. If I were to ride again, I would say ride on the left-hand side if you can, and I would stay underneath. You get a better view, they said, from underneath. Yeah, and I was getting to that. I would stay on the left-hand side, stay underneath, because you get the view from the water, which is a little bit better. They do, like she said, do spin around for the good spots especially, and make sure that both sides do get to see. But left side would be preferable if you could, but it really doesn't matter too much. Yeah, I think that's about it for that. Oh yeah, there was another story they told us. They kind of give you a lot of stories and information and stuff as you go, because there's long lulls where they're just kind of motoring between islands and things like that. And the one story they told that we really liked was a guy who had a piece of land on one of the islands, and he said he thought that the cheapest way to, you know, put a house on that island would be to wait for the winter for the ice to freeze over and then pull it across. So he built a house on the mainland, and when the ice froze over, he started driving it across the ice, and they said he got about 3/4 of the way across and found a weak spot or whatever, and the ice cracked and he got his house stuck with the truck there, and he couldn't get it out. So eventually he just had to leave it, and the ice cracked some more, and eventually the house fell into the lake. And instead of saving money on a barge, which is what he was trying to do, he ended up having to pay a barge company with a crane to take the house out of the water, because they consider that pollution. So he was responsible for that. So he actually tried to save money and ended up probably cost himself a lot more money, and he lost his house. So they did have to fish the entire house out. Well, that's about it from this little adventure here in Wisconsin. Now we're gonna head straight across Minnesota, and we're gonna head to the Dakotas on our road trip here. So stay with us. We're gonna try to make up some miles today and do some cool stuff in the next couple of days. I don't know if we've got anything in Minnesota planned really, but I know we got some stuff planned for the next video. It'll be pretty cool. So if you like the video, hit the like button now. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Comment. And let me know you were the first person to make it here, what you thought, anything else I missed, any comments or questions, anything like that. Till then, we'll see you in the next one.